Yeah, so for anyone that hasn't seen this before, this is the Wednesday Waffle. It's obviously Thursday today, and I'll probably sit here like that. Is that all right? Cool. So we're just getting the YouTube camera set up. That looks just a bit mucky there, doesn't it? Let's get that sorted out. Let's get this camera sorted out. So yeah, so every week I thought I recognised you. Who is that? Paddy? You Paddy used to work with a HDiv or Ruth's mate's fella. Excuse me. Yeah, so each week I round up what's been going. But how you doing, Paddy lad? Yeah, so I round out what's been going on in the business each week, usually on a Wednesday, hence the Wednesday Waffle. But yesterday I was driving back from badminton after feeling like I just yo-yoed up and down the bloody M4 all day. Yeah, started off 4 o'clock in the morning, got up, did my usual routine, cold shower, double espresso, bit of yoga. And then made Ruth her coffee before, well, actually, I've been making her iced coffees and leaving it in the fridge. But yeah, and then went into London, rode a couple of horses, and then went back up the M4, stopped at Windsor, got changed, grabbed some bits, and then got back onto the M4, up the M4, to badminton. And I went to badminton yesterday because I have a small team of sponsored riders, so just the day before yesterday, I believe, yeah, I announced the third sponsored rider, Hettie Walker. So Hettie is based up in Cumbria, Borderlands, with the jocks up there, and yeah, so she was at the Badminton Grassroots Championships. So I went to go see her. And Gaspard Maksud was trotting up for the 5-star competition in a Lockwood Sherpa fleece, lamb's wool, Suffolk lamb's wool gilet, which was pretty, having a team rider at the Badminton Grassroots, especially when I'm building a team of grassroots riders, to not be there would have been almost criminal. I didn't think I'd be able to make it, but I was able to. That mixed with Gaspard Maksud trotting up in the lambswool gilet, I thought, right, just make it happen. So yes, I went up there, and that was, I mean, apart from the commentator saying, because last year Gaspard trotted up in a bright green bloody frog like beret type thing, because he's French, and then the commentator said, well, Gaspard last year trotted up in a bright green frog hat, so he's let us down a bit. And I was like, well, that was bloody rude. But hopefully I've managed, I sort of messaged round, got hold of as many people as I could, and then hopefully, got a message to the commentator for Sunday's trot up when he'll be wearing another one of my products. So hopefully he talks about the brand a little bit then, but we'll see. He's yet to reply. So yeah, so all really interesting stuff. But sort of rewind 8 hours from when I was there, I got a message from the supplier who was meant to be sorting me out 200 metres of the 100% boiled wool in that maroon colour that you'll see. You'll be able to see it on the website. There's some of them images of the boiled wool gilet. They were meant to be sending me 200 metres at £9.15 or £9.70. Yeah, £9.75 ex VAT a metre. So quite a few £1,000s worth. They then got hold of me and said, yeah, look, we can't supply this fabric until, we've had an update from our supplier. It's going to get to us at the earliest, the second week of June. And I was like, oh my God, I've put them out for pre-order for the end of this month. We've lined up the factory to make this stuff. And then I'll get told, oh yeah, well, you can't have your fabrics for maybe 6 weeks, maybe a bit longer. We don't really know. So then I got on trying to source the stuff from an alternative supplier. And I found a couple of places that had like 5-10 meters here and there, so nowhere near enough. And then I found two places. One of them had 169 meters of it, and another one had 97 meters of it. Perfect. However, one of them was priced at £24 a metre, so pretty much, 150% more, and they were the ones that had 169 metres, and in the place that had the 97 metres, they were quoting me £20, and I managed to negotiate them down to £17. That was inclusive of that. But even still, that's quite a bloody hike, double in just core materials. And so then I was trying to find the suppliers that they were getting them from to try and cut them out, because the people that had the 169 meters, they had to call me back because they wanted to call their factory that held it. So I spent most of yesterday trying to track down where this bloody factory was, along with driving, so stopping at service stations, doing some Googling, getting a load of phone numbers, listing them down, so then I could just tick, 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 tick. And then arriving at Badminton, trying to be present, and, conversing with Hettie's family, as well as trying to fix this bloody fabric bloody situation. So yeah, it was a flipping difficult day. It was like the highs of being at Badminton, seeing Hettie, seeing Gaspard, but then the lows of trying to deal with this bloody, being faced with an extra couple of grand to come up with, and then basically be taken off the, taken out of the profits. So it's a good thing the price has been adjusted now, because that basically I would have lost money straight away before I even got them and sold them. So yeah, it's, these are the things that go on behind the scenes that people just aren't aware of. And it is flipping, and then this morning, so I then forked out £1,700 for 100 metres there, and I thought, right, I'll get half of them done with 100 metres of the maroon, and then speak to Pav, the factory, and just say, look, I know you've got this production run set up to make the 250, the maroon, the lambswool and the Sherpa, but can you just offset 50 of the maroon for me, so I can have them made further down the line. He was like, yeah, okay, we'll do this, although they'd scheduled it in and I bloody paid for it. And then paid the £1,700 for the 100 metres, and then I got a phone call quite literally a minute after making the payment from the original stockist, and they said, yes, we can supply you, the fabric at the £9 flipping 75 expert. So yeah, tough emotional roller coaster of a day yesterday, to say the very least. And then the rest of the week, it's been very early mornings going into London for the day job. At Badminton itself, I spoke to a lot of the business owners there, people at the trade stand, and I am like, a month ago I was probably this far away from signing off, and now I'm like getting closer and closer and closer to the point where I'm like, I think I need to just bloody leave and start selling these flat caps, start selling the gilets, start selling the smocks, and just going for it. Last Thursday I had a meeting at Gradehouse and with CQC on the same day. CQC was over Microsoft Teams, and we're basically discussing the changes to the smock order for the September. Changing buttons to poppers and placement of certain things and the addition of other things and the changing of the types of buttons for some of the other stuff, which is interesting. And then all the the R&D work that goes into making these changes. Yo, hey up there, how you doing, mate? Is pretty incredible. You know, all my initial proposed flipping expansion of the range and all this other stuff, it sort of build up a substantial bill of R&D estimated, and I says, right, well look, I'm just gonna have to slow down and not go all the way yet. Oi oi Billy, how the devil. So although I was hoping to do like the Blenheim, the Montgomery, the Churchill Poacher, the trousers, basically all the hours that would add up to getting them products to market, couple of hundred sort of man hours, or Katie hours I should say, because it's her that does it all. I've had to just basically be right, stick with the core range, make the small changes, the necessary changes, the tape seams, the popper buttons on the Brecon and the Churchill, I believe it was. And just slow down a bit. So that was that. And then after finishing my meeting with CQC, I then went into Gradehouse and saw the first toils, they're called. So it's just the first design of the rider cut jacket and then the waterproof trousers, but it's just made in like a cheap, just plain white fabric, just to see the makeup, the design of it all. And then you then go on to any last changes and then a first sampling. So we've done that. So now we're waiting for these changes to be made. I'll then have to go back to Gradehouse in about a month's time. Well, probably about 3 weeks now. Re-look at the design and say, right, yes, happy. They will then tell me you need X many meters of this many zips, this many buttons, this toggles, and then they will produce me a sample. And so one of them is watching here, but I have got a small team of grassroots riders, and then with these rider cut jackets, the plan would be each of the 4 of them get to pick a colour and lining colours and stuff like that, and then I'm going to name it after them, or a name that they want to choose for their particular jacket, and then they hopefully will get released around Christmas time. I'll have some on show at Blenheim, but they won't be purchasable. So yeah, quite interesting stuff. And then the rest of the week, really, it's just been, I've got the images from Nico Morgan this morning of Gaspard Maksud trotting up yesterday, which was, I think seeing that imagery, it's really confirmed to me, right, you need to up your game now. Like, that quality of videography and photography is what I need to be pushing out there. Because the iPhone stuff is good, but it isn't, it's just not the je ne sais quoi, as Gaspard would probably say that it needs to be. So that is the week. And then looking forward, I've got a charity cat rescue that I'm involved in tomorrow. Basically where we rescued Tommy from Cyprus, and I kind of said to them, look, if you ever getting into trouble with, being able to collect animals, dogs or cats, from Heathrow and their onward journeys, get hold of me, because I'm just down the road. And then I got a message last week asking to, hello Tom, we're just talking about where you got rescued from, you little swine. I got a message last week about a lady in Reading who's rescuing a cat, but then she doesn't have any transport, and it's at like daft o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So I says, yeah, look, send me number, I'll happily go and pick up this cat and then take it to Reading and then continue on to badminton. But it's now tomorrow night at 9:30, so I'll be going to pick the cat up, and then coming back, getting the van packed to then head to badminton early Saturday morning to beat the traffic in, and have a little walk around the cross country course, probably before they all start, and then probably finish at the well, yeah, no, I don't know. Just, yeah, get there and have a good walk round. Work out which fences we'd like to look at the most. I'm most looking forward to seeing Ruth's reaction when she sees the broken bridge and horses coming over that for the first time. And Huntsman's close, to be fair. Yeah. Yeah, no, real excited. And then hopefully... well, that's it, really. So unless anyone has got any questions, I'll hang around on both for a few moments. But I think I'd like to just round out by saying, please go and take a look at my Instagram and the video on TikTok that I put up of Gaspard trotting up yesterday. It just looks great. Even if you're not interested in buying any of the gilets, just giving it a share. Cheers, mate. MKF car. Who is that then? But yeah, even if you're not interested in buying any of it, just a like and a share or a comment on any of it, it helps push it out to the wider audience. Louis, you guards, I am indeed, brother. I am indeed. Yeah. That's you, is it, Matty? How the flipping devil, brother. So you've got yourself a flipping page, mate. Well done. I hear you spoke to Jake the other week, so I'm glad I could connect you two. Because stronger together, innit? I just think the power of networking and just reaching out to people and asking for help. I really do not care about going cap in hand to people, metaphorically and literally sometimes, and just asking for help. I think it humanises us. But so many people just posture on bloody social media, making out all this self-made crap. There's no such thing. We need to flipping ask others for help where we can. So yeah, it's got me bloody far. 8 months of making me first sale. I've got kit on the badminton trot up on the 5-star. A lot of clothing brands take them years to achieve that. So really happy. So unless there's any last questions from anyone or initial questions, Thomas, do you mind? He's starting to get his bloody zoomies. He's just jumped over me flipping MacBook. What are you doing? He's just looking at me. Right, cool. Yeah, it's going well. Both of us bouncing off each other well. Yeah, that's good to hear, Matty, mate. Really is. Hi, Luke, who you basically just caught me signing off. So a bit of a swift one, 20 minutes tonight. Take a look at the YouTube channel. You'll see all the last week's Wednesday Waffles. Like I said yesterday, I was just driving back from a long arse day, and I just didn't have it in me to pull up at the side of the motorway and do this. So yeah. No, cool. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for hanging around. Please take a look at the website. Give it a share. Tell people about it. These products are just, everyone gets that bit better, and the additions and slight changes to the Smocks is, it's like bulling up a boot and getting that final last little shine to really make it ping. Right. Thank you all. Good night and God bless. And as always, God save the King.